going on, fam? How is everybody doing? If you were not at the conference, I have one question for you. Did you miss us? We were not here, but we were doing all kinds of business, having all kinds of fun, enjoying all kinds of joy, and doing politics. If you were not there, fam, I think you missed a moment, and I understand why I'm not. I understand why that happens, and I absolutely understand why that happens for those who could not make it. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But before I get into that, we have a little bit of housekeeping, and then I'm going to get into some politics, and then I want to take it to the phones because I know a lot of people, I feel the same way, have to kind of decompress from the conference, who went to the conference and have observations. So I want to leave more time today to the calls after I explain the call to action that we had during the conference. So before we do all of that, I want to say that I know we talked a lot about the book at the conference. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? We had that conversation, fam. We had that conversation. So I said, I don't know when. I kept saying, I don't know when the book club's going to be, but you have to have that for you need to read that for the conference. So for those of you, we're still going to have the book club. Is going to be October the 24th. So October the 24th, that's a Thursday. I wanted to do the last Thursday in the month like I normally do, but that's Halloween. And you might be out with your kids. And if you like me, you're just going to have an excuse to eat candy and Kit Kats for me. But for you, whatever floats your boat. So that's fine. So October the 24th, we are going to have a conversation about that book. And I'm also going to try to talk about why I decided that should be a conference book, why that should be the book for the conference, and how that has kind of changed. Oh, I feel like I'm going blind. And how that's kind of changed me in a lot of ways. But fam, as usual, please hit that like button for me. Cost you no money to hit the like button. Why are you so stingy with the likes? Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe for me. I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. If you are a white woman named Abigail who wrote me, I appreciated that. I appreciate it. I just want to let y'all know I got a lot of notes and different things from people, and I appreciate all of it. Please, if you want to subscribe, just so I can have your newsletter, subscribe to Brown, subscribe, tobrown.com, subscribe to Brown. Cost you nothing. Okay? Cost you absolutely nothing. DonateBrown.com if you want to donate. Patreon.com/YCarnell. All of that good stuff. Most of you already know, fam. Woo! First of all, a heartfelt thank you. If you want to see a video, just go to my Twitter, Afroplex. Shout out to you and all you've done. Both of those intros at the conference came from Afroplex. Thank you so much, at Afroplex with 2 X's. So I appreciate you. If you can go to my my Twitter page and see a tweet, and he did a beautiful compilation of the conference. And I just have to say, I'm still kind of on a cloud from the conference, and I'm trying to come down and like do real work again. But like the conference was so beautiful to me that I'm kind of still on my own cloud. So and as soon as I come down from that cloud a little bit, and I'm still kind of tired a little bit too, but I'm still on that cloud a little bit too. So it's a real interesting kind of thing. I'm in a real interesting kind of space. So I want to shout out to all the presenters. You know, shout out to Dr. Cornell West. Shout out to Dr. Cosby. Shout out to Marguerite. Shout out to Zarina. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Paul Sowers. Shout out to everybody who was on that stage with us. Right? You are wonderful. Shout out to the volunteers. Shout out to the reparations kids who was up there the next day doing their thing. Shout out to everybody who was there. Shout out to the volunteers. Shout out to much love to all the family. One of the things that I kind of think about in terms of how we brought together allies and the ADOS community, and everybody was in sync. And one of the things that I think about, or I kept thinking about, was like, this is what community is supposed to be. And this is what community is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like a support system. It's supposed to be joy. That's what it's supposed to be. And I keep kind of thinking about that in terms of something that we kind of don't have, because we've decided, we've not only been oppressed, but we have kind of made a decision to chase this notion of individualism, and we haven't really understood or felt the power of like what community really is and what community really does. Shout out to St. Stephen's. Um, I mean, the St. Stephen's Church, they didn't have to do that, and this whole thing would not have been possible without a community of people coming together. Like without Dr. Cosby and the Black Church, and then the HBCU that he heads, none of this would have been possible. So what you saw was like Black activism and Black media over here on YouTube doing this and coming together with the Black Church and coming together with the HBCU and putting together something that was beneficial to the community. And with us, we were a group of people, and are a group of people who, because we understand, like as ADOS and what we've been doing here, that we're poor and we are bottom caste, there was no pretension. Nobody was running around with red bottoms trying to feel better than somebody else, trying to talk about somebody else. We were just a group supporting each other. And that made everything all the more powerful, all the more joyous, all the more enjoyable, in terms of what we were able to do. Shout out to Marion Williamson, who was also there. Congressman Yarmouth, shout out to you. The mayor of Louisville, Byron Allen, shout out to both of them. Made videos for the conference. I mean, it was a wonderful space to be in that moment, and be able to have a conversation that was specifically about us, and it wasn't about anybody else. It was just about us, and that's why that's why I just kind of want to thank everybody who came. I saw videos of a brother whose tire went out, and he came, and he made his way there. I saw videos of people who went to the zombie thing at night. I was supposed to go. I got ate up. My ankle got ate up by bed bugs. I couldn't make it. It got swole up. Thank you for Sherry Mills and Dr. Cosby who got me a doctor. I ain't never had a doctor make a house call for me in my life. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the I can't remember the doctor's name. Dr. Gobo, Black doctor, female doctor, great Black. Thank everybody. I have the gratitude that I have right now, I cannot express. So for those who weren't there, I just want to say that the gratitude that I have for all of y'all who were there, we shout out to Sticks and Bundles. Those of you who didn't know who the men were who were running around taping, the Black men who were taping and video, that's Sticks and Bundles. And they're a documentary team. They're putting together a documentary. So please, if you tape this whole thing, if you tape the whole conference, please don't post it, because we're going to try to use that documentary to apply pressure as we go towards the 2020 election to talk about ADOS life and what we're dealing with. So please don't do that. But shout out to them, because they actually reached out to us via Antonio, and I have never seen a more professional group of Black men go about their thing. They were doing it well into, like, I was ready to go to sleep Saturday, well after midnight. That's why I didn't make it out. I was supposed to go somewhere with some of y'all. I'm sorry. I was with them, but the most professional group of men I have, in terms of, I've never dealt with filmmakers, but I've never dealt with men who are like this. Like, they were on point. Take 2, take 3, take 4, take 32, take 24, man, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all were wonderful. Y'all were awesome. I mean, it was just love and just wonderful people doing wonderful things. It was just, I don't know what else to really say about it. I'm gonna let y'all say a lot about it. But we'll discuss more during the call-in. But I think for me, in terms of the conference was a testament to what is possible. You have to think about this. You have to think about what is possible. Antonio and I we're doing this on YouTube, and you have to think, if we could have that kind of event, right, with the help of Black institutions, you have to think about how much more is possible with more people and more Black institutions being involved. You have to really consider what that means. And you have to consider what that means for us and what we can do as a community. That is a testament to what we can do if we start to value what a community is for us and allies, like how you come together and how you do that together and how you build that community, right? And to me, that was a testament for it. It was a testament. And I'm not, a lot happened while we were away. With the Botham Jean case and the witness. And we're going to talk about that. But at some point, but we have to also talk about And I'm not going to get too deep into it on this show, but I'm just going to say something about the forgiveness and the judge and the touching of the hair. And remember the bailiff. We're switching gears real quick, but you remember Geiger and the bailiff who was touching the hair of Amber Geiger and combing her hair, making sure she looked pretty. Then the judge gave her a hug and a Bible and all these sorts of things. And I just want to say, it's not. You know, a lot of people have said, "Oh, see, you understand, Yvette, this is what Christianity does." Let me just say this. I have not seen any white evangelicals ever behave like this. When a black person kills their relative, I've never seen it. But I want to take this around a curve and just say one thing. I'm not going to get into this because we flying a high, and I'm not going to get too deep into this except to say, we have seen this kind of thing and this kind of gatekeeping for a long time. And it doesn't change until we as a community change and kind of take over. And one of the things I announced at the conference was Project Takeover. Because too many of our institutions are ran by these kinds of people who prefer to kind of signal to white America that we're willing to kind of have this kind of cultish reaction to abuse by you. So you can abuse us, and instead of us holding you accountable, we are going to comb your hair. We're going to rub your back. We're going to give you a Bible. Now you've never given a black offender a Bible, and you black. You've never done these things, but you do this for her. See. And some people, and I remember the brother of Botham Jean. Can I hug you? Can I hug you right now? Can I hug you? Please let me hug you. And I talked about that on Twitter, and somebody said to me, and I'm gonna get to Project Takeover. I'm gonna connect it all. You know how I do. So somebody said to me, "Well, Yvette, he has a right to his grief. You can't tell anybody how to grieve. If he wants to tell Geiger that he loves her, he wants to hug, he has the right to do that. That was his brother." And let me say something to you. Let me just say something to everybody real quick. I just want to hit this real quick because I didn't get to hit it right before the conference. When you make your grief a public spectacle, I have a right to make a public comment. You could have and should have. I don't know why more black people. I know they have. I know they're not, they ADOS, they have roots that go elsewhere. But I'm just speaking in general because we do a lot of this too in terms of our own ADOS forgiveness. So it ain't just them. In terms of your individual forgiveness, I don't understand why we cannot forgive in the quiet of our homes and our hearts. If we're going to forgive, I'm not opposed to forgiveness. Why do you have to turn your forgiveness into a public spectacle? You haven't even gone through the process of grieving for your relative. That takes time. You haven't even gone through the process of getting adequate and good justice for your relative. That takes time. You're so invested in getting the approval of white America and Geiger and all the people. Well, can I hug you? Can I comb your hair? And the judge, can I give you a Bible? And no, you can't hug me. This is not what I'm here for. I'm a judge. What's wrong with you? I'm not here for hugs and skittles and kittles. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to administer a sentence. And the judge was shocked. There was a Time magazine article where the judge said I'm shocked at the people who thought I was wrong to hug her. And nobody ever shows any inclination towards doing anything for us. When something like this happens, nobody ever shows any inclination towards showing compassion or sympathy. And you're a black judge. Understand what you have to understand what Amber Geiger did. You walked into a man's home and shot him in his own home. You shot him dead in his own house. It wasn't even somewhere he made a mistake and wandered into your house and you thought he was an intruder, but he was innocent. He was at the wrong door and you saw a black man. You thought he was going to kill you, because you're racist. No, you walked into a man's house and shot him dead. How? are you deserving of any kind of sympathy? And I am not your pastor. I'm your judge. Understand your role. When you in this thing, understand your role. I'm not your pastor. Don't come to me asking me, well, do you think I can find God? Or do you think I go to your pastor? They don't they have pastors some in the jail, or maybe they can watch church TV? I don't know. It's not my problem. But if that had been a little black boy, a little black girl, I want to see video of this black judge hugging a little black boy, a little black girl, and giving them a Bible. Where they were about to, or a black man, a black woman, when they were about to go off to jail. I want to see video of that. And don't say, well, they didn't ask for it, because it wouldn't have mattered. Let's not play games with each other. See, there's too much of this kind of thing going on. And what I'm saying is, this is not something that just happens in this case. Our organizations, our ADOS organizations. Now, I know all of our ADOS organizations have problems. Please don't tell me how this organization or that organization was founded by a white person. I get all that. But what I'm telling you is that our organizations have issues. And we have to deal with those issues. They're led by these kind of people. You killed my brother. I want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. Who does that? Who tells somebody that slaughtered a family member, I want to be your friend? Now, if you want to forgive in the quietness of your home, but why are you making your forgiveness a spectacle for white America? Why are you doing that? Who are you? What kind of cult thing is this where you fetishize white violence and you use that and you kind of cater to that? Who are you? Who are all you people? See, I think we don't understand that our community is about to be overrun by this group of people who, like, every time something's happened, well, okay, I gotta get in the mode of making them feel better. Hey, I'm gonna be your friend. It's gonna be all right. And the rest of us, it's disrespectful to the rest of us who called for this prosecution. Everybody called for this prosecution. We were all ADOS, black immigrants. We were all calling for this prosecution. Like, this woman has to be held accountable. And the moment she gets held accountable and she don't get enough time in jail, understand, you go back and watch Antonio Moore's video about how many people in that state who were murdered somebody, what the sentences look like. She didn't get enough time. So your relative didn't get justice. And the first thing you come out and do is sing a Negro spiritual and say, I want to be your friend. You're not an adult person. I don't even think you have a right to call yourself a man or a woman if that's what you're doing. You don't have that right anymore. I don't want a relative who does that. I want a relative to say that you didn't get enough time. You understand that this family will never see him walk the earth again. Botham Jean is gone off this plane. Never again. And you are trying to make friends with that person. And see, this is not something. Let me help you understand something, fam. And we don't know what happened to the witness, right? Got shot in the mouth and the chest, according to the attorney. Now, he was going to testify in the civil case. Remember, he cried. Now, we saw Amber Geiger crying, but he cried on the stand too. We don't get to see him crying, right, though? We just got to see her crying all the time. All them crocodile tears. I killed an innocent man. I wish I was. No, but I saw your text, Amber Geiger. I saw your text talking about somebody was trying to give you a German Shepherd dog, and they said it was racist. You said, me too. Them crocodile tears don't work for me because I remember all the white women who owned slaves too, so it doesn't work for me. It worked for your judge, it don't work for me. But see, the problem is we got too many judges like that. We got too many people who are leading the ADOS community who are her. So let me just say this. One of the things that I announced at the conference, and Antonio and I announced, was Project Takeover. Well, what does that mean? Well, see, for far too long, something has been happening in our community. We got the NAACP, the Urban League, we got the Black Church, we got HBCUs. These are our institutions, and a community is nothing without its institutions. But our institutions are corrupted, and they're run by corrupt people, and they're run by people who just do the bidding of people who are not our people. And instead of taking those institutions back, what we have been doing is saying, well, I'm just going to walk away from it. See, That's why I don't be involved with NAACP. It was started by white people, and it's still run by a bunch of people, white donors. I don't have no parts of it. When the Urban League, you saw, remember on Antonio Moore's show, the LA Urban League revolted against the National. The National wouldn't take Byron Allen's side in the Comcast lawsuit, right? So you saw that happen. So the Urban League is on its own stuff too. So you'll see people say, well, that's why I don't really deal with the Urban League. I don't even deal with them. Same thing for the black church. Now, if you are atheist, a Muslim, a Buddhist, or whatever, I understand. That's fine. I understand why you wouldn't be involved in the black church. That's not your thing. You have your own thing, and I respect that. I respected that Dr. Cosby over the weekend during the conference accepted everybody from every denomination and non-denomination and atheist into the church because that's who he is. I respect it. But if you are a black Christian, you don't get to say, well, that's why I left the church. I left church because them preachers ain't about nothing. So I just let my wife go. Wait a minute, you let your wife go, just hear another man talk on Sunday and gigi and gaga and smile over him and you ain't over there with him? Really? Oh, but you don't like what the pastor's doing? Well, why don't you and some of your friends start going over there to the church of y'all all Christians and take it over? You can take over them and the whole deacon board. Take over everything. Find a new pastor. Kick him out. If you got a pastor that's using private jets to ride around instead of using the money for the community, and the community is poor and he rich, it sounds to me like you got some work to do if you're a Christian in that community. See, one of the things that we have been doing as a community is walking away from things that we should be taking over. That is called work avoidance. You got to go take it back. The fight, there is a fight. We all know that there's a fight with white supremacy. We're clear on that. Ain't nobody unclear on that. If you're unclear on that, please let me know. We all know what that fight's going to look like. And that's going to be quite a fight. But we're going to be ready for it. But there's another internal fight that has to happen, because we got a lot of comfortable people that's eating off the fat of the community, that's doing nothing for the community, whose institutions are being used to build new headquarters. I heard the Urban League is building new headquarters. They're trying to collect money to build new headquarters. That's not feeding our people. That's not advocacy for our people. Building your headquarters is not advocacy. Mr. Mark, I love my pinky rings, Marielle. That's not what it is. And what we have to do is take back our institutions so that our institutions represent our needs. You don't get to just go your own way because we've abdicated. Now we're taking over. So what we're saying and what we said at the conference is that we're taking back our institutions. We're taking over all of them. We're taking about every institution that we have, everything from the HBCUs to the organizations. We're taking back all of our institutions. They belong to us. Black church belongs to us. That was our civil rights movement. You don't own the NAACP. And somebody will say, well, Yvette, if we don't get money from the donors and the big donors, we don't have an NAACP. Well, don't have it then. We'll just have it like it was before. We didn't have much money. If the reason that, listen, hear me clearly. If the reason that Comcast is giving the Urban League money is to make sure that the Urban League doesn't do the business of the people who the Urban League is supposed to do the business of, then we don't want you. Understand it. And let me tell you, you can research this. The Urban League and NAACP to some extent, but the Urban League has a very tortured kind of history and background. The Urban League has done some stuff in terms of black respectability. There's a lot of stuff going on there that we'll talk about later. I'm going to bring up a book that I read, a few of them. Urban League, you got your own stuff going on. You was always on some black boule stuff. There's a reason why they used to call the NAACP the National Association for the Advancement of Certain People, not colored people. That's what they used to say about your NAACP. So what I'm saying is, no. We're going to get everybody in line of what's in the best interest of the masses. Ain't no more of these little organizations being boule organizations, taking the money and pretending to be our organizations. No. We taking them over. We're going to join these organizations. We're going to become a part of these organizations. And if the leaders of these organizations decide that like they're going to go with Comcast or they're not going to go with the needs of ADOS, we are going to revolt in our local chapters. What you saw with Byron Allen in the LA chapter was a revolt. There was a revolt against the National Urban League, the national. Now you can call it what you want to call it, but there was like, no, we're going to side on the side of not Byron Allen. We're siding on the side of civil rights, of this Reconstruction era law. That's what we're siding on the side of. So you're going to have an internal fight between these organizations who want to do the work of who want to do the work of white America. You're going to have an internal fight between them and actual grassroots people who want to do the work of ADOS. That, my friends, is Project Takeover. We're taking our organizations back. We're not going to just stay home and complain about them no more. No. We're not going to just stay home and I wish it was different. I don't know why they like that. I don't like to go there. I think they took money. I don't like giving money to the pastor. I don't like... No. We're going to take it back. The pastor can lead too. Take everything with you, except don't take the money. Take everything with you. You can take your prayer cloth. You got some oil in there. You got a little holy water. Take it with you. You can go. We're not interested in the rest of it no more. We're interested in Jesus justice. If we're going to do church, we got to do justice Jesus. I don't want to do nothing where you just give me one psalm and you jump around a bit and you say a good song and you run off. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in you say, well, you just got to forgive all the time right now. And I'm not interested. Run off. We're going to run all the money changes out the temple. And we got a lot of problems in our community that have to be dealt with. So you have to deal with your own army before you take on somebody else's army. Before you run outside and decide you want to take on Rome, you got to deal with your own army in here. There's a lot of problems with our army. We got a lot of people doing a lot of stuff for a lot of other people that are not us. It's mainstream. They're just taking the money, and their job is to be a gatekeeper and keep us in place. Their job. Even when we talk about the next phase, that's how the first part of what we're doing is Project Takeover. We're rejoining our institutions with the goal of taking them over. We're not joining with the goal of becoming part of them or assimilating with the nonsense. We're joining them with the point of taking them over. We're taking our institutions back so we can, because they're ours. I don't care. You don't own it just because you got to appoint an NAACP president or whatever. We're taking all of that back. We're joining these local chapters because we're going to take them back. Y'all remember this? How many people remember this? Y'all remember when the NAACP was going off on us and NAACP Atlanta and saying all kind of stupid stuff? The NAACP wasn't created for ADOS. It was created for the enslaved African and their descendants in America. Who do you think we're talking about, dum-dum? Who do you think we're talking about? Clowns is light work. Hell, I held back. I'm going to be there, dum-dum. I'm going to be right there. Because we're taking it back. Everybody thought, see, let me just say this before I go to the next little dum-dum quote. Everybody thought ADOS was going to go away. Everybody thought, oh, well, Yvette Antonio and these Negroes, they're going to go away. And they're not going to be here. It's just going to be like all these other groups that just come and go. Oh, wow. Look, we're still here. And we had our first very successful conference. That wasn't about nonsense or red bottoms or music. It was just black people showing love, ADOS showing love to our friends, to our allies, to each other. It was a love. And we're here. We're not going nowhere. What you going to do now? You going to barbecue a meal, dude? Let me know. So what do you do when you are NAACP Atlanta or NAACP anywhere else? And your whole local chapters are being infiltrated by ADOS. And ADOS have an agenda that's our agenda. What are you going to do? I don't know. Because you talked a whole lot of stuff when you thought we were going away. You talked a whole lot of stuff. If you're really serious, you gotta see about it in Cobra. You gotta do that. You talked a whole lot of stuff. We said we were coming, but now we're here. You understand? Now we're here, so I want to hear what you have to say. We're a community of institutions. So now we get to the second part. The first part is taking back our institutions, all of them. We're joining them. We're taking them back. We're gonna join, and eventually we're gonna assume leadership positions in our own institutions. We're gonna infiltrate all of our institutions to take them back. It's finished. The second thing we're gonna do is this. You know, for the ADOS conference, Antonio said this at the conference. We invited every presidential candidate. To her credit, shout out, Marion Williamson came. It was wonderful. Nobody else came. Now, I saw Elizabeth Warren with the Native Americans, and there was only a few of them, and no shade to y'all, but you came. I've seen these candidates everywhere doing everything with everybody. We planned this thing out a very long time ago. Now, a lot of y'all, we talk back and forth, and y'all kind of act like y'all was coming, and then you didn't come. You wasted a lot of my time. Wasted a lot of Antonio's time. We were going back and forth. You were asking us, like, what's the setting going to look like? Is you going to take questions? Is it going to be Q&A? Is it going to be they going to make a speech? We went back a lot, back and forth, and then you just didn't come. Okay. You didn't even show up to have a conversation with us. You didn't even show up for 20 minutes to talk to American descendants of slavery and talk to us about what we wanted, what we're owed, what we're talking about in this election. But I got something for you. See, this is not the old black Democrats. This is not, I know you got gatekeepers, but guess what, baby? The gate's open. Somebody left the gate open or somebody pried it open. Ain't no gatekeepers no more. So let me tell you what we're doing. Because a lot of people said, oh, Yvette and them, they're just talking. But when it comes, they're going to just vote Democrat. You a lie. Project Takeover is the first part. The second part is Project Vote Down Ballot. If these people do what I suspect they're going to do, like they didn't show up for the conference, they don't come to us about a reparations package and an agenda. No, we're going to show up to the polls. Show up to your polling place. I want you to vote in this presidential election. Vote down ballot. When it comes to your presidential candidate, though, if you can write something in, write in ADOS. If you can't, you leave that blank. No, you don't get a vote. But we show up just to let everybody know we showed up. And I'm going to tell you something. There's somebody on your ballot that needs your help. I don't care whether that person is I don't care whether we talking school board. I don't care whether we talking your local state representative. I don't care whether we talking your local prosecutor. There's somebody on that ballot that you need to vote for. So you got to show up. Please do not use this as an excuse to stay home. That's laziness. We got to show up. But this is Project Down Ballot. We're not voting for you. We're not showing up for these presidential candidates who don't show up for us. And let me tell you this. Don't blame us if you lose the White House. If Democrats lose the White House, do not blame us. Because Democrats have been leaving the Democratic Party and going to the Republican Party, and nobody blames them for nothing. More than half of these white women voted for Trump, and they don't get blamed for Trump. So you can't come to me, middle black family worth $1,700. Don't you come to me and tell me, oh my God, you see, it's the black vote. The black vote did not turn out. So we got Trump again. No, you voted for Trump the first time. You put him in there. We didn't put him in there. We overwhelmingly voted for Democrats the first time. You did that, Rebecca. You did that, Amy. You did that, Chad. Y'all did that. Y'all put him in there the first time. Don't blame me that he's in there, and don't blame me when I want an agenda. See, the thing that's going to happen is we're already failing. As ADOS, we're already falling apart. We're already bottoming out. Listen, but if you don't want to help us, if you don't want to give up whiteness, then you're going to bottom out too. Play with me if you bad. Because let me show you what's happening to us. This is ADOS life. Automation to hit African Americans hardest. Shocker. The employment outlook for African Americans will worsen dramatically as automation upends the workforce, according to a new report from McKinsey & Company. Why it matters. By 2030, African American workers stand to lose hundreds of thousands of jobs as a result of increased automation, widening the racial wealth gap and weighing down overall U.S. growth. Now, what's the problem? They, meaning we, are overrepresented in support roles that are most likely to be affected by automation, such as truck drivers, food service workers, and office clerks. These shouldn't even be our jobs as people who built the country. This is ridiculous. They have an unemployment rate, that's us, they, us, have an unemployment rate that is double that of white workers, even when controlling for education, duration of unemployment, and the cause of unemployment. They are underrepresented in 5 of the 6 parts of the country projected to grow the fastest, and overrepresented in parts of the country that are projected to see the slowest growth. Understand something. Understand what you just read. See, we are a bottom caste that is bottoming out. So you can't tell a bottom caste is already bottoming out. Well, you got to show up for the Supreme Court. Y'all didn't show up. White America, you didn't show up. You showed up for Trump. You didn't show up for the Supreme Court. What you want me to do? If you want to give up, what you have to do, if you, white America, with white Democrats, whatever you call yourselves, Reagan Democrats, I don't care, whatever fool name you call yourself. If you want to see like Trump not be there, if you want to see us vote Democrat or whatever, you got to give up whiteness. All of it. You got to give up that privilege. You got to give up and everything that comes with it. If not, we can all see Trump and the next Trump, because it won't just be one. It'll be a next one, a next one, next. We can all just fail together, because we've been failing. We're not gonna rescue you. We're not gonna save you. We tired. Middle black family worth 17. We're not saving you. You ain't saved us. We're not doing it. We're not playing this game anymore, because and people will say, well, what about the judges, Yvette? What about this? It's not enough for a group that's bottoming out. We're in collapse. We are, all the data that I've shown you on this show shows you that this is a group in collapse. A group in collapse is not good or does not benefit from like these kind of like, well, you get another judge, so maybe you get another judgment. We need transformational politics. That's what we benefit from. And if you're not going to be a transformational Democratic Party that's going to help us, we're going to show up at the polls, but we're not going to vote for president. And depending on who your congressperson is, you might not vote for them either. Nancy Pelosi, I don't know why. Are there any black people left in San Francisco to vote for you anyway? I don't know. We're not going to be a captive vote no more. We're done with that. We're done with that. We need an agenda. We need an agenda. We are revolting. See, what this is basically us revolting against the current political arrangement. The current political arrangement as it's set up right now does not benefit us. So we get a bunch of black gatekeepers who say, oh, souls to the polls, souls to the polls, souls to the polls, and we have to go vote. And then they go pick up a check. Because that's what they were told to do. If you get out the Negro vote, you gonna get a check. We're gonna hook you up. You a gatekeeper. You good for us. You done good, Charlie boy. That's what you get. And so we're not, in terms of the political arrangement, we're not just taking down these Democrats who don't serve us or threatening to. We're not just threatening you who won't give up whiteness and your privilege. We're threatening these black gatekeepers too. Listen, your job is to make sure we show up for these people who are the presidential candidates and so on. Your job, that's your job as a gatekeeper, to herd the sheep. What we're telling you is that the sheep gonna show up, but they're not gonna show up for you. That means that you're no longer a gatekeeper. And they finish with you. That's the only reason you're there, is to be a gatekeeper. Once they realize that the sheep ain't listening to you no more, that you're not a herder no more, you finish, and you need to be finished. And this is how we finish you. This is how we finish you. You have been a gatekeeper. You have shown up to collect your check, to get us to the polls. Even though, imagine the duplicity of getting somebody to the polls when nothing on the ballot benefits them or their agenda. We show up to the polls and there's no real transformative government there for us. How long? We can't do it no more. It's not about how long we could do it. We can't do it. We are a group in collapse. A group in collapse can't do this no more. The gate's open. You can't come into our communities no more and just tell us what to do and what our responsibility is. We're going to run you out. No, you tell us what your agenda is. That's what you do. We are not this little docile, easily convinced community anymore. No, we don't do that anymore. So if white people want to give up whiteness, then we can show up, and they want to you want to get serious about reparations and serious about a black agenda, then we can have a conversation. Y'all got time? Figure it out. But ain't nothing changing between now and then. I don't care who do what. This is Project Takeover. We're taking over our institutions, and we're voting down ballot. We're not doing this no more where we just show up and say, well, next time we'll do it. We just can't do it this time because Trump. Or like Van Jones said, well, you got to take one for the team. Shut up, Van. What's wrong with you? Ain't nobody taking nothing for nothing. We can't do that no more. It's not even a matter of what we want to do. So what we're going is Project Takeover and Project Down Ballot. That's what we are. If somebody wants to change that, I'll be willing to listen. But right now, that's where we stand. And that was the conversation at the conference. So, like I said, I'm going to give everybody a chance to have a conversation. For those of you who were at the conference, to call in and talk about it. If you want to call and talk about Project Takeover, Project Down Ballot, we can do that as well. I'm going to go to the phones early tonight because I want to try to get a lot of you all in. I know it was an interesting time. It was a wonderful time. It was family. That's what we're supposed to be. And then we'll come back and we will have the conversation. Set the phones up. All right, fam. We are about to go to the calls, and I want to know what everybody thinks. Cause somebody said something in the chat, and I agree with it. I really thought this weekend felt more like a family reunion than a conference. And I had said that all weekend, so it was funny that somebody else said it. So I am going straight to the calls. Let me make sure I turn something off really quick before. Yep, I did. Okay. I am going now to 832. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing? This is James. I'm calling from Texas.
What's going on, James?
I was just calling. I'm calling. I'm just calling to say congratulations on a great turnout.
Thank you.
And I wasn't able to make it out, but I was able to at least make my contribution and paid for the live stream.
Oh, thank you.
And I just wanted to say continue to keep up the good work and give a word of advice to others that are afraid to attend certain events like that. The least that we could do is at least contribute to the ADOS movement, and I'm also an ADOS ally. So I just thought I'd call and give my support and have a good day.
No, appreciate it, fam. I thank you for calling and giving your support, and I thank you for tuning into the live stream. So those of you who couldn't be there, I know people had asked about the live stream, so those who couldn't be there were able to get it. So, it was like right before the week of, but we still got done. It took a lot. So we were there. Anyway, I'm going to my next caller. I am going to 267. 267, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette.
Hey. Hey.
Hey, Amara Lawson.
What's going on?
I'm going to try and make this short. You and Tone are amazing.
Thank you,
The
fam.
entire conference was amazing. Dr. Cosby, his dad, Sheree Mills, I have to give her a special shout out. Amazing. The only regret for me is that more of our ADOS family can't make it or couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So moving forward, and it came up on us really quickly at the end next year. Like, I'm sure there were people who only needed maybe like a place to stay or a bus ticket. We have to learn as a people to vocalize our needs. We didn't, so get that. So next year when it's time to put this conference together and we get folks there, our people need to step up and
Now,
say, hey,
let me just hold on, Princess. Did you get hoarse during the conference? Because you wasn't hoarse at the conference.
I wasn't. I don't know if it was the preaching y'all did on Friday and Saturday. I went to church with Dr. Cosby, and then I went zombie hunting. And then the little kids.
I went zombie hunting.
I don't know how I got hoarse. I lost my voice.
No, but you know what? Because there was one lady who said that she wanted to come to the conference, but she didn't have the funds, and we raised the funds for her. So I think you're right. Like if you really want to come, you need to let other people know, because a lot of people stayed in Airbnbs together. People were helping each other out. Me and Antonio donated to the woman who was trying to get there and couldn't go. But there's no way for us to know that like you want to come, but you have a need if you don't tell us.
Yep, absolutely. And so we are going to hold you to your word next year on zombie hunting. But we know you were scared. That's why. No. I'm not gonna let you say that, Princess Six. I got ate up
attacked by bed bugs. Okay, no, I went to a hotel. I won't mention the name. Not where I normally stay with the first couple of days because that was booked up. And I went to, and my leg swelled up, and I figured that somebody was gonna shoot me in my leg, or something was gonna happen to me.
Wait, and what your mama say when you was up there talking about how she did her hair?
She thought it was funny. She thought it was funny.
Okay. Cracking up. I was cracking up. I Yvette, love all that you do. Love the show, and we're gonna keep pushing.
All right, I appreciate it, fam. Appreciate it. We're gonna keep pushing. All right. But no. I'm on like next year. I promise. We're gonna do the same. I'm gonna go zombie hunting because the fam went zombie hunting, and I didn't get to go, and they had some nice pictures. Looked like they had a good time. And I love Halloween and all that stuff. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. If it wasn't for the bed bugs, I would have went this time. But they swelled my ankle up. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do when something swells my ankle up like that. I didn't want to go out there and be running around and my ankle be jacked up. That just wasn't the move. But they look like they had a lot of fun. So had a lot of fun. So I appreciate all that. And Princess Six, we always appreciate you. So it is what it is. You always a fan. So I'm going to the next caller. I'm going to 918. 918, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hello?
What's going on, 918?
Can you hear me, Yvette?
I can hear you just fine, fam.
What's up?
What's going
on? My name is KK, and I'm calling from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the original Greenwood.
Okay.
What's going on?
What's up with you?
You know what? I was not able to make it to the conference,
okay.
But I keep hearing you talk about voting down ballot, and I'm just curious. If Marianne Wilmington is talking about reparations, why aren't we voting for her? Now, I wasn't there, so I didn't get the whole story, but I'm just a little curious.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go, right? So I don't know. See, fam, I don't know how this is going to go in terms of how that ballot's going to look. You know, it's a real sneaky geecha.
Okay.
So I don't know how this ballot, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about, so you have the primary and you have the general. So when the general election rolls around, we're voting for a Republican and a Democrat. If you vote a Democrat, you know, we talking about, like right now, if you go to Democratic primary, you're going to be voting for Democrat. You're going to Democratic primary. So you're gonna have Bernie on there. Okay. You might not have Marion on there, and even in the little primary thing, you vote for Democrats. You're a Democrat, you're gonna vote for Democrats. You're gonna say I want Democratic ballot or whatever. Then you get around to the general, it's a Republican and a Dem or whatever. So we're talking about when you get to the main thing, right? Now a lot can happen before you get to the main thing. Now if Mary's on your ballot in the primary, that's a different thing. But what I'm talking about is when we get to the big deal, we're electing a president. Right, you got a Democrat, you got a Republican, you got Trump, and you got whoever made it all the way through. Right, that's gonna be the election. It's gonna be Trump and whoever made it all the way through.
But I think with like the collective Breaking Brown family, we could at least get Marianne's percentage points up a little bit.
Well, I think we have, but here's the thing, fam. I think we have. I think part of the reason that she's getting as much attention as she has is because she's had a lot of groundswell of support from us, and I think that's part of the reason she believes in reparations. And I think she came to the conference because of that, and I appreciate that. But I think that's a lot of what it is. I mean, and I appreciate her keeping reparations in the conversation.
Okay. Okay, well, that was my only question, Yvette. Thank you so much. Big fan, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. Thank you, fam.
Thank
I appreciate it. Oh, it's so wonderful. Let me tell you, it's so wonderful. Trolls, I missed y'all. I missed all the trolls. They so crazy. I missed them so much. Where y'all been? What was y'all doing at the conference? Y'all was at home eating Captain Crunch? Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have you back. Because that means you're doing something good. If the trolls is here, if the trolls are here, if the trolls are here, you know it's something. You know if the love from the MAGA people to the other little people they just here and they just acting up something terrible, and it shows you that you really are doing good work. But yeah, remember, fam, you got the primary, you got the general. I don't know if I even talked about it right because I went through it so fast. But remember, the big election is Trump versus a Democrat. Is it going to be Biden? Is it going to be Elizabeth Warren? Who's it going to be? I don't think it's going to be Bernie. He's had a heart attack. He tried to call it a malfunction or malfunction. What do you call it? A cardiac. What did he say it was? Anyway, there you go. I'm going to the next caller. Who am I going to today? I'm going to 216. 216, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Yes, this is Doug calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
What's going on, Doug? How you doing?
I'm just listening to you. I'm ADOS, but I find myself really disagreeing with the strategy to vote down ballot.
Go ahead.
And, I wonder. Yeah, I think that for us to have a big impact, that we should tie our votes to even in our localities to like specific things that we want in our locality. That way, I think we would have more of an impact than to just automatically vote Democrat.
So what would you recommend? Republican down ballot?
No, wait. No, I would recommend that we even consider not voting at all unless a candidate locally, statewide, or political talks about a black agenda.
But the thing is, here's the thing. There's always somebody on your ballot who deserves your vote. I understand that we've all made a mistake at some point in our life of not voting, whether we were out of town or we didn't know or it was an off year. But somebody on that ballot, if you look at your ballot, if you really go over your ballot, I'm talking about everything from your county, that's the local stuff, to your state. If you go all the way up that ballot, there's somebody on that ballot that deserves your vote. And then there are a lot of people on that ballot that do not deserve your vote. But you got to show up for the person who does deserve your vote. You got to show up for them. Now, depending, it might be one, it might be two.
Here's why I have to disagree with that. As Democrats, what I've noticed is that the Democratic Party has they've all embraced a certain agenda. So they're all for LGBT rights or all for
not your local. Is your local school board on for that?
Yeah, even our, for example, our mayor, like during the last mayoral campaign, the candidate was talking about how he was, supporting rights for, immigrants and undocumented immigrants and things like that. And I'm like, we don't even have a lot of that in Cleveland. So how did that even get on the agenda? It got on the agenda because they're told that in order to get money from the Democratic Party, there are certain things that you have to vote.
But let me say this, fam. I don't care if you have to show up. If your situation is that everybody's bad, I don't care if you have to show up and write in ADOS in every category. I still want you to show up. Because that still matters.
No, I agree showing up matters, but I'm saying I think it's time that we start making some demands to these politicians.
We've already done that, though. We've already done that. Like when Antonio and when we made demands of politicians to have a black agenda to come to the ADOS conference, we've been making demands. So we're not gonna stop. This is not us stopping making demands. This is us saying there will be a consequence if you don't respond to our demands. If you do not respond to our demands, we're going to vote down ballot and we're not going to put you in office. Now, if you have a local person who is, like you say, if you have a local person who is all about stuff that is not ADOS and doesn't help ADOS, you can absolutely write in ADOS or whatever, but let everybody know that I showed up. It's not a matter of staying home. I showed up, but you gave me unworthy candidates.
I understand what you're saying, but if they're giving us unworthy candidates, why is it worth us showing up? Because when we show that we're in some way we're supporting the system as it is.
But there's nothing wrong with the system of voting. The system is wrong because it's not giving us the right candidates. And you have to show them I came here and you gave me nothing. And so I wrote ADOS and everything because I showed up and you gave me nothing. If you don't show up, the narrative is that we're just too lazy to vote. No, show up. Now, by a chance, I think you at least find one person on that ballot you can vote for. But by chance you don't. You need to write down ADOS if you can in there. I know in my thing it'll let you write in something. But you need to write in ADOS in every category. Let them know I showed up to vote, and you didn't give me any candidates, so I voted for my people, and I walked away. I'm saying staying home is not an option.
I see what you're saying. But I would still, if I would say this, whose idea was it? Who came up with the idea for voting down ballot for Democrats? Whose idea was that?
That was my idea. That was my idea and Tone's idea. Now, if you don't want to do it, do you want to vote Republican? You can. It's your choice. I'm not telling you. If you have do you have a Republican that's going to do your interest?
And here's what I'm saying. Why not put that idea up to a vote and see what ADOS wants to do as far as 2020 this time around?
I've never listened. Let me tell you something. Everybody's going to decide what they want to do when they get in that booth. What I am doing is providing my guidance to you. When you get in that booth, I can't see you. You probably gonna vote Republican down ballot all the way through. I can't see you though.
No, I'm not.
I'm just giving. Listen, I'm not a messiah. I don't believe in messiah politics. I'm not a messiah. I am giving you advice on what I think is the best way to go. And let me tell you why. You say, why are we voting Democrat down ballot? Why are we not voting for the Democratic candidate? Because understand that this hurts Democrats the worst, because we're not voting for the Democratic presidency, right? We're not voting for, so this hurts Democrats. And the reason why I said do that is to send a signal to Democrat that we are Democrats, but we're not voting for you. We're not voting for a Democratic president because y'all don't give us what we want. That's why I said it. Because we give our vote to you every year as a president, as a capture vote. So I want you to know that we showed up as Democrats, because overwhelmingly we always do. But we're not voting for you. You're not getting our vote.
But see, we can also make a statement by not showing up, not
showing up. No, if you don't show up, the narrative is that you're a lazy Negro. Why can't you just show up and just vote down ballot or write in? What's your problem with getting up out of bed and showing up? It only takes like 10 minutes, depending on where you are.
My problem is we've been getting out of bed and showing up, voting locally, nationally, and statewide for 50 years, and we have nothing to show for it.
No, you never showed up. No, you never showed up and voted down ballot. You're looking for a reason to be lazy. You never showed up and just wrote in the whole thing all the way down. You never showed up and just wrote in ADOS or wrote my people or wrote I stand for my people in terms of your politics. You never did that. Staying home is not going to get you anything. We have been staying home for a long time and just saying we don't vote because we don't have anything to vote for. I'm saying show up, put your name down there and say, I came here, but there was nothing here. So I'm just going to sign my name. I'm just going to sign the name ADOS. That's all I'm signing, and I'm going to walk off. You can do that, but you got to show up. If you don't show up, they just say black people are lazy. They don't want to. They don't want to go do nothing.
But how are they going to, I understand what you said, but how are they going to make the argument that black people are lazy when we've been voting for 50 years and we've come out in higher numbers in the last,
we came out in extraordinary numbers for Obama and other things, but we don't have, they get enough of us out to turn out Democrats. But like if we decide that we're just going to sit home, I don't even understand how that makes sense. I don't even understand.
It makes a statement. Like, how does the black
No. Staying home never makes a statement. Staying home ain't never made a statement.
It goes because anybody will be able to see that the vote, the black vote dropped because there was no black agenda.
No. How do you make that assumption?
You don't have to be Einstein to figure that out.
Oh no. Just show up, brother. What's the problem? Just show up and write in ADOS and then go home. What's the problem? Ain't no problem. You just want to stay home.
The problem is. I'm gonna tell you the problem. The problem was really deep for me because I've seen in 2016. I saw how the Democratic Party rigged the primary election.
Well, just write. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, but just write in ADOS. If you get there and ain't nobody there for you to vote for, write in ADOS and go home. It's a protest vote at that point. At that point, it's a protest vote.
I couldn't hear you.
All right, fam, I'm going to let you go. At that point, it's a protest vote. You're not voting for anybody. At that point, if you get there and by chance, everybody on the ballot is unworthy, and you write ADOS all the way down, or whatever your choice is, It's given that you showed up, but there was nothing there. There was nobody there for you. That's a protest vote. If that's all you have. Now, I know in my community there's going to be a few people that I can vote for. Like at least 2 or 3. But if by chance you don't have anybody to vote for, it's a protest vote. You showed up and they didn't give you any choices. And so you wrote ADOS down the line. That's a protest vote. Do not stay home, no. Do not stay home. All right, I'm going to my next caller. I am going to 925. 925, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Larry Lewis calling from San Francisco, California.
What's going on?
Well, I tell you, I get what you're saying. I'm not one of those persons just brush out and vote, but I'm gonna break my neck to get down there just to put that ADOS right on that paper next to my name to let them know.
Yeah.
Because what I see out here, our hands are tied. You are my last. You were telling me, are my last hope on this place called America. My goodness. I mean, if you even come to San Francisco, you will see it's a mess when it comes down to black people living here. Oh, I mean, it's just terrible. And I can see that, brother. No disrespect for the brother. I just don't think he comprehends. Brother, if you're still on the air, please just go down and sign your name and put in a heart or whatever you want to put it, ADOS was here.
Yep.
That's all it takes. That's all. And now, I want to just, I'm going to get off this radio quick but everybody else can get on. I want to talk about that murder.
Okay.
I know for a fact that lady was so tired. 14 hours working. And she claims she went on the wrong floor and rush into her house and see a black man standing there eating some ice cream and blow him away. I know for a fact, policy and procedure, if somebody got your doors cracked and you got your full uniform on, you would go back 30, maybe 40 feet, call for backup on your radio, because you still got your radio, let them know there is somebody in your apartment. I honestly believe, Yvette, that lady really had taste to kill somebody that night. Then they took away and killed that witness. This whole thing right here, I smell foul all through the air. And that's all I'm going to say about this situation. You guys keep it up and keep it pushing. But we got 31 flavors of Negroes out there, and you guys are the right flavor as far as I can see.
All right, Fab. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a it's a lot that we didn't learn about that case early on, and that's why I think that the civil suit, there was a lot of accusations of a cover up, and I think that was a part of it, and we don't know what she was up to. I often wonder, like, what was up with, like, toxicology. There was a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you didn't get in the house and realize once you seen it, like, this is not my home. I mean, there was so much going on there, but hey, you want to hug him and kiss him and do whatever. I'm going to 617. 617, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, it's Reggie. What's going on?
What's going on, Reggie?
Hey, I really, really enjoyed the conference. The biggest takeaway for me was the love and the family. I felt like when we all stepped in there, it was a very safe space. It was a very loving space. It was a very open space. So just the politics aside, it was just refreshing for just my heart and soul just to be around so much love and family. And I feel like it's that love and sense of family and community that's going to empower us for whatever it is we have to do and whatever known and just about the ADOS family in general is that black aggressive politics, and there's just been such a worry of that. Just honestly, over 50 years, just after all of the other revolutionaries were assassinated, and then so many people, bought off. It's refreshing just to have that unapologetic aggression, just for a bunch of people who have no wealth and not much in terms of power and agency, and we know that, and then we still go at the powers that be. So I feel like that speaks to the character of the people in ADOS, and just the bravery and the heart to just go after the Democratic Party, after the Republicans in America by extension, in the age of Trump.
Yep.
With no wealth, on the path to zero wealth to 2053, that we go this hard, and then shift the conversation. So
because you know what, Reggie? You know what, Reggie? You know what I feel like? You know what I feel like? People always talk about in the age of Trump. I feel like ADOS America has always lived in the age of Trump. Whether it was Bull Connor or whoever it was, we've always lived in the age of Trump. This is new to you. It ain't new to us.
Exactly, and that was something I was actually thinking on today, because part of me, I was getting a little confused. It's like, why are so many people up in arms about Trump, even with just the surface knowledge that we've been here before? But the reality is, in terms of a lot of people, in terms of immigrants, both black and white, don't have that historical memory to understand on a deep level that, like we said, we have been here before. Like, even in terms of a lot of our black immigrant brothers and sisters who are not understanding, like, Trump is here, and why are you doing all this and talking all crazy? And understanding, like, okay, they just got here in the 80s. They really haven't seen this before. We've been here since 1990. So we understand that Trump has been here, the entire time. But back to Project Takeover, just a quick, note for everyone. You can sign up to become a member of the NAACP. You can do that, online. Okay. And I believe you can join. I don't know if you can join the Urban League online.
Well, I went online, and they did have where you could join the Urban League online. You had like different fees you could pay, or you could just mark general or whatever. I went on there at the Urban League today too, and it looked like, from what I saw, you could join them online too.
Okay, well, there you go. So I guess at this point, it's really no excuse for us to not put that work in. Just join. Just go in and take over, but yeah, I just wanted to say that, again, my biggest takeaway was the love, and I appreciate a lot of the allies
they were
that
great.
Came forth, and the pieces that are coming out. Shout out to Zarina, shout out to Afro Bookworm, shout out to Alicia from Connecticut, because she actually went to HR 40 with us. As a parent that's Haitian, so understand, you have someone who has an immigrant parent that goes to DC to scream on Congress.
Yeah.
So I just not. I feel like if Pan-Africanism was dead, as you said, I feel like it's alive in ADOS, because there's a real solidarity that's going both ways. We have our allies that understand that we open the door for them. Now they're pushing to open the door for us. So for everybody saying that we're anti-Pan-African, of course there's ideological differences between that camp, but we are actually putting that into practice. But some of these other people are playing dress up, and flying around planes and just talking. We have people from, other parts of the diaspora and ADOS actually putting in work, to get shit done. So I don't know what these other people are doing, but this is ADOS and this is Pan-Africanism for real. So everybody else, have seats, roll to get rolled on. I'm out.
Appreciate it, Reggie. Appreciate it. And it was great seeing your face. It's like seeing you for the first time, like in person. I saw Reggie at the conference. I saw him at the airport, and I was like, dang, he's tall. But it was wonderful. But I think the thing is, like, you know what? Like, I think there's a demarcation line now that's brewing. Like, we have a group of people who are black immigrants who are ADOS allies, and those ADOS allies, they ride or die. They're like, we ride with you. If you throw a chair, we throw a chair. Then you have this other smaller group. It's a smaller group of black immigrants who are kind of elite and kind of telling us what to do and stuff like that. But I think you're seeing a cleave off now of this other little elite snotty group, like wipe your nose, and you are in your own country. You are like bad to like your own people. And then you're seeing like our ride or die allies. And you're seeing like them cleave off into two different groups. One is coming with ADOS and one is trying to access whiteness. So you're seeing like a very interesting demarcation point. But our immigrants like are like ride or die. They with it. So like the solidarity we saw, shout out to Paul Sowers who, said shout out. Like it was wonderful. Like our allies, immigrant white, like were wonderful. Like we get real allies. There are real terms of engagement. That's what we do. It's not just like, oh, well, you want. No, it's really like based on ideology and all sorts of things. Like we do it right. That's how we do it. So I'm going to my next call. Let me see. I'm going to 513. 513. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, how you doing? It's Steve from Ohio.
What's going on?
Hey, nothing. Hey, I streamed. Matter of fact, it took me 64 tries to even get in.
64?
I'm glad I got in. But I did stream the conference, and I thought it was available for 72 hours because I watched half of it before I went to work, and I was going to watch the other half when I got back when you guys came back from lunch. But it wouldn't let me get in again.
I watched half of it this morning, and it's supposed to be gone.
Well, I didn't see the whole conference. I just was able to see half of it.
But I'm saying, I bought it for somebody else. But I'm saying I watched it today, and it's supposed to be gone within 72 hours. I know, but I watched it today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try again because I thought you could watch it and then come back to it. But the way it seemed like the setup, you can just watch it one time. You got to watch it.
I watched it. I watched it the day of. I watched part of it the day of. The next day of. The next day. Then I watched part of it, the second half of it today, like this morning. So I don't know. I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check into it. Okay, last but not least, I had a question for you. It'll take less than 5 minutes, but I can't do it on the air. So is there any way that I can hold to after the show is over, or you have my number, you can call me back?
No.
Because it's important.
No, what kind of question is it what you can't answer? You can ask. You can ask me an email. I can't hold a call, though.
Oh, okay, I will email you. So just email you in caps?
Yep.
Okay, I will do that. I'll send you out one now.
All right, appreciate it. All right, I'll answer you back. All right, bye.
Thanks for that.
No problem. Bye. Mm-hmm. I am going now to I'm going down to 919. 919. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, is this me?
Who?
Hello.
I'm here, but who is me, ma'am? Man, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's what's good. It's what's good. North Carolina, ADOS. Dawn.
What's up, Dawn? It's me. It's me. I'm here.
What's up?
Not much.
All right. I wrote down what I want to say because I don't want to take up a bunch of time. So first of all, the conference was fucking awesome. So that's number one.
Language. We have children watching. You saw the children at the conference?
Pardon?
I said language, ma'am. Language. The children watch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud?
Yes, ma'am.
But, So I wanted to speak to, in terms of the down ballot voting. You know, of course, we want to show up. And one of the things that the caller was talking about, you know, who would they vote for?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that, you know, we've been thinking about in our group is just taking the Black agenda and, you know, localizing it. You know, if you talk to anybody who's running, you know, you can hand that agenda, because what I found is candidates that are running around here for council, they don't really have a platform other than being Black and going to churches and handshaking. So that's just something to think about. If you're not finding a candidate and you don't really know what to ask, that's a good place to go to ADOS 101. And I would also say that on the local level, you know, it doesn't have to be reparations, but, you know, you can think of it or call it restorative justice. You're, you know, going after repair. You're, like we did at the conference, learning how, trying to understand the budget, because you really can't do anything if you don't understand the budget, you know, what's going on there. So those are just things I think are kind of like low-hanging fruit if you have, you know, if you know what you're doing when you go in there. And also, we have to be pragmatic. You know, we can't be idealistic or, what do they call it when you stick to ideologues, I guess. We just can't do that. We don't have to get to be very strategic, and that brings me to my final thing. I did read the book. Where do we go from here? I had never read anything by MLK, and, you know, I understand, you know, even more why, you know, he is who he is to us. He was brilliant. In that book, other than, you know, the several things, almost everything was quotable, but the thing that struck me that applies directly to us, it makes the most sense. He said that everything that we fought for and won in this country hasn't cost the United States anything. Everything that we fought and died for has basically been free to them.
Yeah.
And then he also goes on to say that there must be an ultimate sacrifice. This can't cost us nothing. And that ultimate sacrifice, in my opinion, is that Trump is president in 2020. There's no way, I don't understand, I don't see how, and I'm going to get off after I drop this out there, but I don't see what other scenario there is where we can hold on to our leverage, make a statement, and we have justification because there is no candidate currently on the presidential level that has met our demands, and much less, you know, even at the least shown us the respect of responding properly to our invitation to come to the conference. So I say, you know, whatever with all of them. And I think that, you know, that's something that we really have to think about. I'm definitely voting down ballot. You know, that affects my everyday life. And you have so much more leverage and pressure you can apply to local politicians. And thank you, Yvette, so much.
Thank you.
For the conference. You and Tone. I've only been affiliated with the group since February of this year. And I'm so glad to have found you, because I was walking around in a constant fit of rage and frustration. I'm what you call a unicorn on baby boomer hooks, but I have, you know, a son, I have a brother, I have male members, and I have seen, you know, firsthand how this system has destroyed, you know, Black men. And I feel that just in terms of general compassion, but just, you know, you guys have put everything in the framework. And, you know, that's just something I was glad to have a way to channel all of this anger and frustration. And, you know, I'm a former Obama church lady. So, you know, for me, I become very, you know, disheartened. So anyway, that's all I had. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate you calling in.
I'm spreading the word.
Cool. I appreciate it, fam. I remember you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to my next caller. My next caller is 661. 661, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
What's up, fam? To the Breaking Brown family, thank you guys for having the conference and doing what you do. My name is Tano, T-A-N-O, and I'm calling from California.
Okay.
And wow, I just want to say, you guys have no idea. I mean, it's interesting when a person on the individual level looks at how they ended up where they are and what kind of information is coming at them. And it challenges us to ask ourselves these questions about who we are, what it is that we want, and what is the precedent set for being able to achieve that. And I'll admit, I might be late to the party, but I just found you guys a couple months ago, you and Tone, and it's interesting how I got there, because I used to listen to Dr. Boyce with the big whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do this and do that. And in the process of trying to do all that, I wasn't having the kind of success that I thought I would, and I couldn't figure out why. And I kept thinking, it must be something wrong with me. It must be something wrong with me. And then in the process of like, okay, well, I'm going to just keep on trying, keep on pushing, I stumbled across Dr. Claude Anderson, and I listened to one of his talks, Black Labor, White Wealth, and it got me to thinking about, hey, I got to expand my vision and look at the bigger picture and find out, okay, you know, it's more than just what I'm personally doing. It has to be something beyond that that's making sure that I end up in a certain place. And you know, so now, you know, that because believe me, I've gone deep into your library on some of your videos going back 2-3 years, and Tones as well, just to educate myself and challenge myself to think differently so that I could get different results in my life. And I support you guys 100%, because if we don't identify ourselves and own our past, we'll never be able to get to the future we want. And that first caller, the one that was giving so much pushback about, well, why don't we do this, why don't we do that? I run into that all the time because people want to be right. They feel like whatever it is that they know or works for them individually, that's what everybody should be doing. And most people aren't willing to put that aside long enough to say, okay, what am I not seeing? And ask themselves, what else can I learn and bring what I uniquely have to the table to help us all get better? And I just found that my life got a little bit easier and a little bit less stressful when I realized that it's not about me. And you know, I mean, yeah, I'm responsible for myself, my family, and to do things necessary to make sure we can survive on this planet, you know, on an individual level. But we as a group, if we're not willing to stand up and identify ourselves and say this is who we are and this is what we want, nobody's going to give us anything. So anytime I hear somebody trying to say, well, you know, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, but they don't have a solution, that I took this from you, I just start walking. But one of the things I just wanted to share with you is that when I have these kind of conversations with people in my circles and they don't get it, I usually give them the example of a goldfish in a tank. Okay, now depending on the size of the tank, the goldfish can only get so big. But then if you find a goldfish that's twice the size of that goldfish, how can you blame the goldfish for not being as big as that one when it grew up in a different environment, when it had a different environment to support its development?
That's a good example, fam.
I tell people that us as black people, we got to redefine our fishbowl. We got to stop letting everybody else build the fishbowl for us and build our own fishbowl. But we first got to recognize we in the fishbowl. And that's the hardest part. And I'm going to stop rambling and just tell you once again, thanks for everything this weekend. I watched on the live stream. I wasn't able to go. I'm super excited about what the future holds and where we're going. And keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to keep being right here.
All right, fam. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate the people who watched from the live stream. And, you know, it was, like I said, it was like a family reunion. It was everybody even people who had met each other, we knew each other's, you know, online names and everything, and it was wonderful to meet each other, and it was wonderful. I hugged more necks than I can count, and it was wonderful. It was just as wonderful for me as it might have been for you. I don't know, but I had a blast, and I loved everybody I touched and hugged, and I hope you felt the same way. So that's just where I am. I'm going to 917. 917, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, what's going on this evening?
What's going on? Not too much. What's going on with you?
I'm good. This is Devon from New York, a.k.a. Beat for Black Better. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's on your mind?
I don't know if I can message you after this call and after what happened this weekend. I can't even mess with y'all no more. You almost got me fired. I unfortunately I couldn't make it to the conference. ADOS life it just hit me. You know how I go. The ticket fell through. I was supposed to get on a hookup. It was all a big mess.
See?
But
yeah,
I got a chance to stream it.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I mean, there's no words for me to express the thankfulness and just the gratitude I have for this group and for this family and the showcase that you guys put on for us in our name. It was just amazing. But that's how I almost got fired. You got me catching the spirit while I'm at work. I'm like, what's going on right now?
I nobody tell you to start jumping around. You was available for 72 hours that stream. You didn't start jumping around on Friday. You could have waited to Saturday and jump around.
You're right about that, but y'all was dropping some words. What you want me to do?
That's true. That's true.
But I just wanted to say a couple things real quick. First thing I want to say to that guy, there's no disrespect to the callers. I know we all at different levels and we all got different egos and thoughts. But I just thought it was real funny that he didn't want to get up out his bed to go vote down ballot, but then he asked you why you didn't put it to the vote to see what all of ADOS want to do. So you want to vote with us, but you want to go vote for ADOS in the vote.
You don't make no sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. But I also want to tell you real quick about the next. I'm not sure if you remember the last time I called in, but I'm the guy that has the Nigerian neighbor that is a descendant of slave traders.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I want to tell you that the next episode in the Chronicles of the New York Nigerian Neighbor. So I see him on. I think it's like Saturday afternoon. And I'm walking, I'm getting ready to walk into my apartment, and he sees me, I see him, and he's like, I'm getting ready to open my door, go inside. He's like, yeah, so I see that you're not going to vote. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so he had, I don't know who put him on. I've always known, like I said, they watch us and see what we do. But he had either streamed the conference itself or got wind of some of the things that we were doing. And I was like, well, voting down ballot is not the same thing as not voting. I was like, you do understand that, right? And he was like, yeah, but not voting is the same thing as voting for Trump. And like Reggie from Boston said and some of the other callers, it's like all of a sudden, a national emergency for them is supposed to become a national emergency for us. Like, we lived with the Trumps of the world since we've been here.
Yeah.
And for them, it's brand new. So it's almost to the point where now it's a tragedy, and now it's so sad to see all these things happen, and they wanted to jump in and save the day without getting anything in return for it. And so, we had a quick little conversation, and I was trying to explain to him the concept of what was going on, and he was just saying that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, if you just think about it in the same fashion as if somebody opened up a store, and I'll say this to that caller too, that for some reason didn't want to go out and vote down ballot, even if he didn't see anybody worth voting for it. It's like you can't. If someone opened up a store and you said, "Yeah, I don't want to list your store. I don't want anything in there," and they're like, "Well, did you even come see what we got?" There's a big difference between saying, "Well, I showed up and I don't want your product," and
not showing up at all. And not only do you, I even think it goes further than that, caller. It's almost like it's not even a product. Like, a product means like you're right in terms of your analogy. You're absolutely right. But it's like that. Like, I don't have to like. It's not even like showing up and there's a Nike shoe and an Adidas shoe and I don't want either one. Like, you're not giving me what I need to survive as a group. And you expect me to like put my name and co-sign you. And the second thing is like, dude, listen, you don't get to tell me, like, you don't get to criticize what I do. Like, who told you that you get to do that? You don't get to do that. Now, you can ask me, hey, tell me what this is. Tell me why you're being this way. You don't get to tell me, well, a vote for so-and-so, like a vote for so-and-so. Go in your house, man. Like, you don't get to tell me that. You don't know what I've experienced. You don't know what I went through. You don't know what I'm still going through. You don't know what my life is like, what my parents' life, my grandparents. Like, you don't get to tell me anything. You can listen, though, and we can have a conversation, but only after you listen. But you don't get to say, I heard you're doing so-and-so and so-and-so. I don't care what you heard. Send him a
Exactly.
video.
And he
Go on. I send him a Yvette video. He can talk to me. I have a lovely conversation.
Exactly. And I was telling him, I was like, listen, I don't know what you're fighting for. We know what your ancestors did. I was like, but I'm fighting for mine. And so if it takes me voting down ballot for them to get the message that I saw, and y'all didn't have nothing from me, so I walked away, as opposed to just walking away and they get to tell me why I possibly walked away, those are two very different things.
Yep. That's what I tried to explain to the caller. You show up to show them. I did find something on the ballot. I did find the dog catcher. I voted for him. But all y'all, I wrote that in. I didn't vote for you because you don't have my agenda at heart. I didn't stay home just because the black people are so lazy, or black people just don't want to vote. They don't want to turn out. No, I turned out. I just turned out for you. See, there's a difference between not turning out and just not turning out for you. That's two very different things, and we have to let America know that we do turn out. We can turn out in record levels, but we're not turning out for you. That's different.
Right, exactly. I came, I saw you didn't have nothing for me. That's not the same thing as me not just showing up.
Yep.
You didn't show up.
Yep, you didn't show up. You didn't show up for me. You didn't show up first. It wasn't me not showing up. I showed up and you weren't there. Not with my agenda you didn't have in your hand. So I voted for who I could vote for. And then for everything else, I wrote in ADOS or whatever. But I punched that card. I was there. I showed up. You didn't.
Right, exactly. I'm responsible for me, but you're responsible for you.
Yep. I appreciate it, fam. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you go and see if I can get somebody else in here. But thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you so much. It was a beautiful showcase. I really enjoyed it. I definitely would not be missing the next one come hella hot water. And I just want to say, like, I cannot agree with you more about the family reunion vibe. I wasn't even there, but getting a chance to see the live stream, getting a chance to see some of the videos and the zombie hunting and
wonderful. Everything was wonderful.
And everything else that went on Twitter, it just warmed my heart to see. And I just thank God that I'm a part of this. We're part of the movement, and I'm just ready to do the work.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. For those of you that weren't there, I can't even express, like, I've been trying to figure out how I'm gonna express the vibe. I can't express the vibe from being there. Like, it was just that wonderful. Like, it was just that, like, I loved everybody who was there, and there was so much love, and everybody was just cool. It wasn't nobody trying to show off, and wasn't no antagonism. People weren't, like, popping off at each other. It was just love. Like, it was just love. It's what a community was supposed to be. So it was wonderful. It was wonderful. 407, what's going on?
Hey, Yvette, it's Zarina.
What's going on, Zarina?
Great conference. Like,
you were a part of it. You were a part of it. It wasn't just me. So great conference. I said, pat yourself on the back. You were a presenter. It wasn't just a great conference. So just do that. Go ahead.
You know who I want to really pat on the back for real. So one of my friends actually joined like the ADOS DMV group, and she was like, "Hey, they're going to be discussing your presentation this Saturday on a conference call." So I really want to give a shout out to the ADOS fan, Breaking Brown fan, Tone Talk fan for really taking the information and just running with it, and I got tagged in so many different things regarding housing and homelessness and people quoting and so one of the things as a presenter that you want is for people to just get it. Yeah. And I really feel like our group really gets it, and I want to do like a shout out to all the allies who get no love, y'all meet up groups or whatever. But y'all start inviting these allies to the cookout, man. Y'all tripping. So,
we invite the right ones. We invite the right ones. That's how you got invited. We invite the right ones who down with us. We invite them. We invite them.
Anyway.
So it was good. It was good. White ally, Caribbean allies. We got them all. It was a great time.
Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say.
Appreciate it. Much appreciated, Zarina. And if you all haven't caught that, you really need to catch. I don't know if it's still up. It was up earlier today. Zarina's part of the ADOS Housing 101. It was really wonderful. And it was wonderful for everybody. Like I said, we had allies there. We had some white allies there. We had some Caribbean allies there. We had some African. It was wonderful. We had ADOS, like, if we throw a chair and you throw a chair, we there. We throw a chair together. Like, and people who are from that set, like, we get it. Like, they who get it, like, it's wonderful. Like, it was just I can't describe. Like, if you weren't there, I can't describe the vibe. I really wish I could. Some of it comes through on the video, But hopefully the documentary will kind of get more of that as we pull that together and try to use that for Black life and use it for the election coming up. Hopefully it'll do more of that. But it was just wonderful. That's all I can say. I'm going to 773. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
John from Chicago, Yvette.
What's going on, John?
Ain't nothing going on. I enjoyed the conference tremendously.
Okay, great.
Thanks for the pick, and thanks for taking that 773 call.
I know y'all be on there too much.
Oh, man. My girlfriend told me, go take a picture with your girlfriend.
Tell her I love her.
Every night, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just tuning in, getting information back. And I just want to thank you guys. The event was great. The presenters were great. The vibe was just chill.
Wonderful.
We are great people.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing a tremendous job at making ADOS popular now in this country, giving us a reason to fight. And you mentioned something, the takeover. The takeover, the break is over.
Yeah.
The hardest time I have with that is convincing my contemporaries, my brothers, my sisters, the dire straits, the dire conditions that we are in, because everyone, like you said, is on millionaire path.
On millionaire road, honey. I ain't got no time.
I'm gonna get there. How you gonna get there? What do you have a ticket? Can you spare a ticket? Because I'd like to get there, but let's look at this thing from a realistic view. One thing I've come to realize, and the young man kind of touched on it earlier, that it is not about me. And what I constantly express to my loved ones and to my coworkers and to my friends is that if I'm okay and my group is not okay, then I'm really not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to learn to express and get our people, our group, to understand that white people did not work hard to end up with the $107 trillion in household wealth that they possess. It was granted to them. New immigrants, new people to this country. I'm so grateful that you did the theme of Martin Luther King's "Where Do We Go From Here?"
Mm-hmm.
Because I had been looking at the speeches over the years of my life. I'll be 57 years old next Monday, and I just have such a vivid memory of being timed perfectly for the crack epidemic, timed perfectly for Ronald Reagan, timed perfectly for mass incarceration, timed perfectly for welfare reform, timed perfectly for all of these things to end up being at a point where I'm so close to retirement that I may have to work until I die.
Yeah.
And it isn't because of a lack of effort on my part. It's just a lack of opportunity on the part of this country that my ancestors' bones are buried in, that our people have fought in every war, been a part of everything in this country. And as you so eloquently stated, if someone who just got here in the 60s or in the 80s continues to bypass you, then it isn't something wrong with you. It's a sign that the government has its foot on your neck.
Yep.
Private industry has its foot on your neck. And I'm paraphrasing these things from shows that you previously did.
Absolutely.
Because I know that pride is the only person
the only poison you can swallow that'll make you a better person. We have to be able to put our pride aside for the greater good, for what's best for our group. That. Because you talked about it, man, and Tone talked about it. If we don't engage in this right now, if we don't make those small, tiny steps, like you stated, go to the church. If it's not what you need for your community, hey, kick the past out. Join the NAACP. Join the Urban League.
Yeah.
Join these pioneering groups or these groups that are supposed to represent us that don't. And may I just please say one other thing?
Mm-hmm.
People, if we are only going to get what we've always got after voting at 98% for Obama, at no less than 50 to 60% for Democrats from the 60s on up. And I don't think people heard that when Lyndon Baines Johnson said, we'll have these Negroes voting Democrat for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
If we don't realize that it has to be something in it for us, I don't know what to say to that.
No, I agree. I agree.
We have to get some extraction.
And especially, Carlos, because we're going over a cliff. It's not even like we're doing well. See, I don't even want people to talk about wealth. One of the things that really hit home for me this weekend is that if I can have a stable ADOS community and if I can have stability in my community where we're American and we have our due, and I can have the joy of a community that I had this weekend, I don't need like millions and millions of dollars. I need stability to be American and be anchored in Americanism and have a very stable first world life, and the community that I had this weekend. That's what I need. I don't need all this. Like, once you understand the joy of community and the beauty of community and the reciprocity, and once you feel that, you realize, listen, I just need these people that love me and that I love to be stable. I want the wealth that comes from that, right? So we have to have an elevated status. We can't be down here. We have to be up here. That's stability in America, though. We have to be elevated because we built the country. But I don't need to have jets and planes. I don't need a helicopter. No. I need what we're due and my people. That's what I need. I'm good.
Indeed. I agree with you 100% because we have to stop feeding on each other.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah,
and history shows it happened to the Irish. It happened to the Italians. It happened to every group. When you put any group, Asian, white, I don't care who it is, in these conditions that we are suffering through and have been suffering through, anyone would react the same way.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
been scientific.
And they have reacted the same way. Not just would, they have done it.
Love you, Yvette.
No, love you back, fam. I appreciate
773.
you. Y'all be in here thick. All right, fam. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate you calling. I'm going to go to a couple more calls. I'm going to 301. 301, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
I can't believe I got in, so I'm going to make this quick. Yvette, how you doing? It's Martin from the DMV.
Pretty good.
How you doing, sister?
I'm good,
I want to give a quick story of love, and this is all an appreciation of you and Tone. So for anybody that was there at the conference, of course, the main theme there was love. But I want to share my story with you real quick.
Okay.
Imagine Yvette Carnell, after a very long day of speaking and energizing and being just so razor sharp on one point. I'm not sure how people got close to her because she was that sharp. But she comes out the side of the building, and this big brother in a suit gets his opportunity to finally introduce himself. And Yvette Carnell looks at me, and I say, "Hello, my name is Marshall. I'm from the DMV." You stand back with a DMV grit, and you say, "Man, I know exactly who you are." And then you jump and give me a hug, and you sign my book. And that is like
my moment of the conference, because at one point, if nobody saw Yvette, from all the love and overwhelming support and admiration, she looked drunk, but she was basking in it. And you and Tone just deserve all the love and appreciation for what you did. And I could go into so many things, but I want to say this. Flying International Airport, going home. Of course, many people know that they had that horrible conference here in D.C. with some conservatives. I'm not going to say what's up, but you can look it up. And those brothers that I saw, I'm leaving the airport, they're coming in like going to their destination. And they just looked haggard. They didn't look at peace and joy. And I said, man, if you knew what I went through this last weekend with all these people and all this love and all this joy together, and I wouldn't trade what you have for what I have for no reason. Like I told you, that I love you, I honor you, and I support you.
It was wonderful, family.
I'm Brittany Brown all day long. I'm Tone Talks all day long. And you've changed my life. And I'm not going to be long-winded tonight. I thank you. I love you. And I'm going to try to call back in before the book club. But if not, the greatest, one of the best gifts I got in a long time was your signature at the end of my book. And I did finish it on the plane. So, keep up the good work.
No, I knew, like, you know what the funniest thing was, fam?
I'm so happy that
I'm happy too.
I got to finally meet you in person, and I wasn't long-winded with you in person because I knew that you were being pulled every which way. But it was good. I left a long, I'm not going to give my Twitter handle, y'all can find it, but I just gave a long Twitter thread about my experiences at the conference, and it's all based in love and joy and admiration. So, sister, I love you. Keep going. I'll speak to you soon.
No, I appreciate it, and let me just say, like I, you know, it's funny. Like that was the whole vibe. Like when, sometimes, like with people who had their picture on their profile, I recognize them. So I was like, oh, I know you, and I was just like giddy from just like, oh my God, it was just so much adrenaline flowing in the room. Like that's just what it was. And we made videos for some people. Some people were like, can you make a video for my fam? They didn't get to make it. We were making videos. We had we stayed outside on the Friday of the conference till after the sun was down. Just hanging out and being fam. That's why I said it was more like a family reunion than a conference. That's just what it was. And that's what it should have been. That's what it needed to be. You know, we're family. When I said during the conference, when I say we're family, I don't mean I just say some stuff. I mean, when I see you, I love you. I'm gonna show love for you, and I want let's reciprocate that love. That's who we are. So that's what it was. So I'm going to 757. What's going on?
Yvette.
What's going on, Otis?
What's up? I finally got my dance in. I'm gonna tell you that everybody else. I missed the first 10 or 15 minutes of your program. I'm gonna tell you. I've been to a lot of conferences and gigs and stuff all around the country. Not so much in the last 7 or 8 years, but I've been to a lot. Shout out to Simmons family, the St. Stephen's Church. When I walked in there, I thought I was going to have to go through some changes to get all my digital stuff because I brought all Air Force One with me. When the ladies, someone said, Otis, and the ladies walked me over, got my stuff, and told me, don't worry about it, just give me a number and move on. But I'm going to tell you, all the stuff I expected was there. But that sister, Serena Harris, and that part was Marguerite Henry. You have got a heck of what backup teams, support teams, presentations, the content, the delivery. These women have shown you what I keep saying when I tell you recurrent training, be willing to go over and know exactly what you're talking about. They were perfection. I danced through there, and I'm going to tell you, I'm an old school dude, but they had me dancing like I just left Cheech and Chong now. And I've been that way all the way back. Took the Amtrak. People tried to convince me to fly, but I wanted to savor everything that happened there. I met people that had conversations with me that they continued for 3 or 4 months, jacking me up on Facebook and Twitter, and then when we sit down and talk face to face, they told me I wasn't so bad.
So I'm sending out the same thing that I put out when everybody called me the guy that had one too many margaritas or something. Much love to the Breaking Brown family, and I'm going to admonish you with a little bit of that Serena thing there. Got him. Let him go back and go over both of those presentations so that you'll be willing to do the work, stop trying to reinvent the wheel, and be a worthy warrior. I know you got it in it, didn't you? When I sat at that portion kitchen and went through it with about 35 or 40 ADOS people that cheered me on and kind of kept an eye on me when I got interviewed with the lady from the New York Times. But I'm telling you, I feel more connected to the people that I've met virtually over the last 3 or 4 years. I'm humbled. I love you people, and I want to tell you, if you really want this thing, do the work. Go to Breaking Brown, the best website I've seen yet.
I meant to tell everybody, I haven't got everything set up, but breakingbrown.com is up. I'm still working to set up some stuff. I haven't started writing on it yet, but yes, Otis, breakingbrown.com. Otis know everything first. Breakingbrown.com is up.
I don't need to cut you off, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of like Marguerite this way. You gotta learn to do what? Hit him.
You right?
Disarm, disengage, and keep it moving. I was mesmerized by that performance she put on, explaining to people about some of the things that I was a little cantankerous about. If you're going to be on the social media thing, don't do it for self-stimulation. Do it to help the cause.
Yeah.
There is a way to do it. And she laid it out so professionally.
It was superb. It was superb. It was a superb presentation.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else that I really loved about this whole thing. Some of the people in the group, Deb's daughter, Natural Negro, they brought their children. They gave me an opportunity to sit and talk to their children, and they looked at me kind of crazy. But I told you, I did Big Brothers early in my life, and I never had a child until I was 40. That was my own. The rest of them are godchildren. I impressed upon them. They've got to engage in this now so they understand all of the foibles that this system will throw at them. It's not just about us getting reparations through. It's about us engaging the generation behind us so that we don't have to reinvent this wheel. This stuff started with Callie House in the 1860s. None of this is actually new. We got to stop looking at our heritage of 400 years as a snapshot. That's one of the reasons it's so easy for me to have a cantankerous argument with or debate with some of these people and tell you I still love you. Because I know that you don't know. The thing that really gets me is when you have two vibrant people come up on that stage, deliver something to you, and then you're not willing to go back and try to do what? Get the morsels that you missed the first time around. Be willing to do the work. Breaking Brown right now, if you want to stop calling, if you call in and tell me that you came on board 6 months ago and you think you got it, you're deluding yourself. There are 300 some odd videos. Go there. Stop looking at Joy Reid. And I'm going to tell you, I'll finish this way. I lit Amtrak up every mile of the way back from Cincinnati all the way to Newport News, Virginia. And I held non-stop sessions with them damn naysayers. And every time that they had a teenager in their midst and they started talking shit about what they knew, pardon my French, I would turn to the teenager and say, do me a favor, Google ADOS. Google ADOS Conference Louisville. And I said, when I leave here and your parents roll their eyes, pop that screen in front of them. I put people on Front Street. And I told them, if your mama and your grandmama don't want to do it, guess what? You gonna be here, and things are gonna change. And I'll make one other thing. When you did that book, Martin Luther King, I told you I was happy with that. I had to study him. But you gotta understand the battlefield changes here. I see people talk about UBI. Martin Luther King talked about UBI, but you know what? Your data and what Tone has done is shown. UBI can no longer be the answer because what? No. That wealth gap has gone tenfold.
You gotta feel it. You gotta feel that wealth. You gotta fill that wealth gap up. You gotta fill it up with money. Yeah.
So what would be UBI would basically giving you a floor for property and taking away everything else.
Yeah.
Much love to the family, and I look. I don't mean to put you down, girl. You know you my queen. But I got Serena and Marguerite. I got them.
You get no arguments from me. You get no arguments from me.
All right. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to go with a harem because I tell you, I collected so many children at that conference. They showered me with love, and shout out to Otis Richardson too, because I used to do some art and he made me mad that I quit. But my son has that talent, so I'm gonna catch him on the next round. Much love to you. See you next year.
All right, Otis. Oh gosh, oh my God, Otis say he gonna have a hair. Anyway, I have no problem taking the back seat to those ladies. I have no problem taking the back seat to anybody. They were superb. But I think I should get some credit for picking. You ladies do what you do, because I knew they were superb, wonderful. Marguerite, Arena, y'all see all the love y'all get. Anyway, fam, me, Antonio Moore, Tone Talks. We both thank all of you all. We work hard, and St. Stephen's worked hard, and Dr. Cosby and all of his people worked hard, and we thank all of you for turning out. I'm going to end the show now. If I didn't get you, I apologize, but we just it was I don't really know how to explain it, quite frankly. If you weren't there, it's kind of hard to explain, but it was just really wonderful. So that's the only way I can say it. And if you didn't do it, if you didn't get there next year, maybe it'll be a better opportunity. We're going to lead up. We have an election coming, and there's a lot that we have to do. There's a lot of work that we have to do. We really moving towards the political education part. Now we're coming into this activism phase. There are different phases to this thing, and so we're moving into a different phase, and it's going to be interesting. But I think everything, if we kind of understand that we are family and we are doing this because we are family, not just people who do politics together. No, we are lineage, and we are inheritance, and we have allies, and all the stuff that goes together. If we understand that, I think that we go kind of far in doing what we need to do. The 24th, October the 24th, the book that we read for the conference, a lot of people who were at the conference already read it, most of them. Those who have not, October the 24th, that's a Thursday. It's not the last Thursday in October. I think that's Halloween, and some of you will be out doing spooky stuff. So I thought that the 24th would probably be a better day. So let's get ready for that. And before you go, fam, please hit that like button for me. Please share. If you want to donate, go to donatebrown.com or patreon.com/ycarnell. Please hit that like button. That would be helpful if you would just ding. And if you haven't subscribed, already subscribe. And if you haven't hit that bell to get notifications, just hit that bell for me. That would be wonderful, fam. And until next time, fam, be easy and breezy, and we will talk soon. Get your rest. We did a lot over the weekend.